All right, let's recap what we bought. So it's Sunday night. I went out yesterday, Saturday. Went outside my normal route, just kind of trying to check out Japan a little bit and get outside of the local area. I haven't really found much out here lately, so I kind of wanted to go explore a little bit. Went to a hard off, went to a book off, and then some outdoor flea market. The first place I went to was a hard off. It's somewhere in the Nagasaki prefecture, but I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, so I'll just put the name down here somewhere. So one of the first things that I picked up was this Mario Party 5 for the GameCube. This was 500 yen. 500 yen is about $4.50 roughly with today's exchange rate. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I already have this, but you know, for 500 yen. I plan on selling some Japanese GameCube, so that'll be nice to bundle with it. Seven Samurai 2000XX for PlayStation 2. This was 100 yen. I found it a couple times for like $5 or 500 yen locally. Didn't want to pick it up, but for 100 yen, which is like 95, 96 cents, I'll grab it. Also in the junk bins, I believe this is The Art of Fighting, if my memory serves me correctly. 100 yen, not in too bad a shape. I'll take that. Chrono Trigger. I picked this up for my boy Bobby. He had asked me about getting him a copy. Now I'd seen a lot of these for like 250 yen locally, and I just didn't pick any up. I think I picked up two for myself, and I just totally forgot that I had them. I wanted to keep one for myself, and I don't know what I did with the other one. I told him I'd get one if I could find it cheap, and I haven't found any for less than 500 yen lately. So I saw this for 300 yen, picked that up for him. It's kind of a mistake, and you'll see why later. Mortal Kombat for the Super Famicom. This copy was 800 yen. Pretty sure, well, I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't have the instructions in there. It feels like it might not, but it's boxed. It's Japanese. It's Mortal Kombat, so I figured I'd go ahead and pick that up. Pretty cool. Copy of Mario Party 2. Now I do have this boxed. This one was only 500 yen, and I'm quite sure that this actually has the instructions in it. It's pretty heavy. Not a bad pickup. The other one that I bought, I think, was 950 yen, which is about $9, and this one was like 450, 460-ish, something like that. So that was neat. The Legend of Zelda, I want to say, geez, you know, I don't know my Zelda games all that well. I'm not a big Zelda fan. I think this is Majora's Mask, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter, whatever. 800 yen, not a bad buy. I've seen these, quite a few copies of this locally for 950 yen. I just never really wanted to pull the trigger on it because I'm not a big Zelda fan. And I had hoped to find it cheaper, and I did, in the box. Kid Dracula. I'm not exactly sure what that translates to in Japanese, but this one was 1,500 yen, which is, I always like to say just like 15 bucks, but it's probably closer to like $14.30, something like that. I didn't realize this was kind of, well, I don't want to say it's a $30 game, but I've seen quite a few sold listings on eBay for about $30. So I didn't realize that was a good buy. I just really wanted it. I didn't check the price on it. 1,500 yen is a little bit more than I want to pay for most games, but I wanted it, period. Let's not beat around the bush, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Pokemon, I think this is a yellow version. I'm quite sure it is, actually. 100 yen. I pick these up whenever I can find them. Planning on doing the dirty scumbag reseller thing. So I've noticed that, you know, if you buy a bunch of these and sell them off in a lot, they usually go for quite a bit. I also buy these for my daughter because she's a huge Pokemon fan, and I know she likes to have the Japanese and American versions. So I'll send them to her first, and then the doubles that I find, I'll go ahead and hang on to and sell at some point later. So next, in the junk bins, I was really surprised to see this. It was only 300 yen, which is like $2.80, something like that. So I wasn't going to leave it behind. I already have it, but it's still pretty cool. If somebody else wants it, you know, I can hook them up with a good deal. And I have a few extra consoles, so maybe I'll just bundle that with those at some point. NFL Quarterback Club 97 for $1 or 100 yen. Honestly, no other reason to have this other than the fact that I don't have it. A lot of the older football games are pretty cool. I do have the US version of it, but I'm missing the manual. So it's kind of cool to have this one that's complete. I mean, again, nothing spectacular, but whatever. Now, this is pretty much like those track and field type games. In fact, I'm somewhat positive that this might be track and field, but just the Japanese version. I don't know. I don't own this for Sega Saturn, so I bought it. 100 yen out of the junk bin. Virtua Fighter Kids for the Sega Saturn. Now, I find these a lot in the junk bins, these Virtua Fighter games. Only 100 yen. I don't know. I thought Virtua Fighter games were pretty good, so there's something about seeing these in the dollar bins that I can't seem to resist. I pick them up whenever. And let me go into this pile and show you another one, Virtua Fighter Remix. Again, $1. I find these in the junk bins all day long, and I don't know why. They were actually really solid games. So I'll have a bunch of these to trade or sell or whatever. Same thing with the Virtua Cop games. I'm not as big a fan of these as the Virtua Fighter games, but I find these in the dollar bins constantly, and it's just really hard to leave these behind. So I picked those up, and you know, that's a pretty decent stack of games for $3. So you know, if somebody is a fan of the Sega Saturn like myself, they might want these. So again, I'm not really picking up all that much stuff for myself right now. It's just kind of for future trades and whatnot. Well, a lot of it is anyway. Street Fighter Plus, whatever the hell that sign is. Street Fighter EX, basically. Again, I find these, I shouldn't say a lot, but I think this is the third copy that I found, and they're always $1 or 100 yen. All I can say is okay. You know, I know there's not a lot of American gamers that have Japanese systems, but I'll be bringing a bunch of shit back with me, so it'd be nice to pair it up. I actually enjoyed the Alpha or the EX series quite a bit, so that's cool. Another game that I got was Silent Bomber for the PlayStation. This one was 500 yen. I don't know anything about it, but it actually looked really cool, and I think the packaging is quite attractive, to be honest with you. It's got the spine card and all that, and it seems to be in really good condition. I looked up a video of this while I was in the store, and it actually looked pretty good, so I bought that. The rest of the stuff that I bought was all junk bin stuff. 300 yen for a Nintendo 64 power adapter. I mean, I'll do that all day. This is an Xbox controller color that I don't have. I've actually never seen. So 500 yen, maybe a little bit more than I wanted to pay, or that I like to pay in general, but you know, it's in pretty good shape. It's got the breakaway cord attachment thingy that is usually missing when I find Xbox controllers, so that's cool. One of the more interesting things that I found, and this is just a virtual representation because the one that I bought does not work. It doesn't read discs. This is a PSX, so this is a PlayStation 2 / PS1 / DVD player / DVR / CD player. On and on and on. It's got a bunch of different multimedia effects. I can't talk again. It's got a bunch of different multimedia functions. It's pretty neat when you can get one working. This is mine that I've owned for a few months now. This works. The one that I bought doesn't read discs. I already took it apart. It's sitting on my repair table. It doesn't work, so I don't know. I'll come back to it another time. I got really frustrated working with it yesterday, working on it for like 3 hours and couldn't get anything going. So anyway, moving on. Actually, might as well just show all three of these. I bought all the Super Famicoms that they had. These were in the junk section, but they work. They're all pretty yellow and gross. I cleaned this one out. Haven't touched these two yet, but these were 1,500 yen, which is what's that, like 13.50, I think, something like that. My math is all fucked up. Let's just say 15 bucks. 1,500 yen, 15 bucks. Now this is way more than I like to pay for a Super Famicom, especially a yellow one. But I don't know. I've been in a dry spell lately, and I felt like I had to buy something, so I bought those. I usually pay like 200 yen for one from the junk section, knowing that they may or may not work. Thankfully, all of these do. And outside of the yellowing, they're actually in pretty good condition, no chips or anything like that. So that's what I got at the first store. Wound up spending like $150 something, I think. I don't remember exactly what it was. The PSX was 40 bucks, and for $40 I was willing to take a chance on it. I kind of regret it now, but maybe at some point I will get it up and running. All right, moving along. All right, as you may have seen in the Spyglass video, the first thing that I saw while I was walking up to the book off was this Neo Geo CD in the window, and man, did I get excited. I love Neo Geo anything. So I already have one of these in a box, but this one is so much nicer than the one that I have. This was, I think it was, I want to say 10,500 yen, which was like 140 something dollars. All right, this is really hard. Hang on. All right, so I couldn't take that out of the box with one hand and hold the camera with the other, but it's got the 2 controllers with it, the 2 pads. I actually have not tested this out, and I need to, so I might as well pull all this stuff out now. But it's got the 2 pads, power adapter, AC adapter. The one that I have actually did not come with the manual, which is really nice to have. And then there's the system itself. It was in good condition, but yeah, the system itself, very clean. Is there a disc in it by any chance? I seriously doubt it. Nope. Again, I haven't tested it. I'm quite sure that it'll work. More cables, but yeah, for fucking focus, will you? Yeah, for 140 something dollars, whatever it was, and this box is just so nice. I mean, there's a little bit of wear down at the bottom, but other than that, I mean, this thing is beautiful. So yeah, I could not say no to that. I don't give a shit how many of these systems I have. I was not gonna walk away from that. So excited when I saw it, and I knew, well, I felt like that meant there was a lot of promise for what I was about to find, and I was actually right. There was quite a bit of good stuff in that store, so let's move on to that stuff. All right, so one of their, I wouldn't say junk, well, I guess it is considered a junk bin. There was this PS1 Hori fighting pad. Not overly exciting. It was $250. So, all right, let's get this thing in focus. All right, $250, which is $2.30 something. Thought it was really cool. Didn't want to leave it behind. I like PlayStation fighting games. I need a pad with 6 face buttons, so I got that. Walked over. Let's see what else. I want to go in order, but it's probably not going to happen. Let's just keep moving. Shit. Zelda and the 4 Swords. I said. 500 yen. This is the cheapest I've ever found it. It's got the manual and all that good stuff in there. This is a $10 game locally, so not a huge Zelda fan, but I do like to collect the games regardless. And I really like these Japanese Zelda cases with the sleeves on them. They're really cool. I think they look so much better than the ones we got in the States. One of the next things that I saw was this box Game Boy Color, and it had a price sticker on there, but they always take the price stickers for consoles off for some reason. If memory serves me right, I think this one was 950 yen. I haven't opened this one up yet, but yeah, less than 10 bucks for a box Game Boy Color. I don't care what region it is, I will take it. This is when I started going a little nuts and just grabbing everything, and I lost, well, I didn't lose the video. For whatever reason, the stupid spy glasses didn't pick up anything that I recorded in the store, unfortunately, so I don't have any of that footage, but I was kind of just grabbing pretty much everything I saw off the shelf at one point, and had people looking at me like I was some kind of lunatic. But there's a lot of good stuff, so let me start off with some of the box stuff. Let's grab this whole stack right here. Now locally, I don't find a lot of great deals anymore. I did at first when I moved here about 6 months ago, but not so much anymore. And I don't find a lot of stuff cheap. I was really surprised at what I was finding here. So Again, I had mentioned my boy Bobby was looking for a Chrono Trigger, and I bought the other one for 300 something yen or 350, whatever it was. And then I got this one for 950 yen, which is I thought was a really good deal. I'm not a big Chrono Trigger guy, but I got that for him. I don't know if he even wants it or not. He didn't seem too interested when I messaged him, so maybe that'll be up for trade at some point. Super Street Fighter 2, 250 yen. This is about a 1500 yen game locally, and that's either boxed or loose. So I found a loose copy for 500 yen at one point, and then a box copy for, I think I paid 1500 for mine. But it was in really good condition. There's another one locally that's in really shitty condition. That's 1500 yen also. So 250. I thought that was an excellent deal. I'll do that any day. I love this game, and it's definitely worth more, in my opinion, than 250 yen. Star Fox. Not a huge Star Fox guy, but I do have pretty fond memories of playing this as a kid. 500 yen for a boxed Super Famicom version. I was blown away by that. I was so excited to see this. I had held off on buying the loose cart, hoping that I would find a boxed copy at some point, and I did, and it was cheap. I love that. Super Mario World 64, 950 yen. That's about the price that I would expect to pay for this game boxed. I see that for the game loose, or even more. The local book off over here sells it for, I think, about 20 bucks loose. So I found a couple copies for 250 yen loose, but nice to have it boxed. Yoshi's Story, 250 yen boxed. I can't even explain how excited I was to see that. This is one of the few N64 games that I actually like, so nice to have that for sure. This is a copy of Star Fox 64, 250 yen. Just so y'all know I'm not lying. Very, very cool. This is the version without the rumble pack in it. Yeah, really cool. I've seen a few copies of this loose for 500 yen, and I just didn't feel like paying it, so nice to have that. Glad I held out. This one is 950 yen. Kirby 64. I actually really like Kirby games, so I'm glad I held out and bought this one later. I think I actually found this for relatively cheap at some point when I first moved here, but I didn't buy it for whatever reason. Mario Kart 64, 500 yen. What a fucking great deal. I'm sorry, that deserves a curse word. I find this game quite often for about 10 bucks, sometimes 15. Alright, I found quite a few of these for 250 yen. When I find them for 250 yen, I'll buy them because somebody's going to enjoy them at some point, and the American version is pretty expensive. You don't need to read much of anything at all for this, so it's kind of one of those games that, like fighters and shooters, somebody's going to want it at some point, but I'm glad I got a nice little upgrade. I got the box copy for 500 yen. And another Zelda copy. This one was only 500 yen. So, yeah, a couple pretty good deals there. So, moving along, I guess I should go into some of the more mundane stuff real quick before I get into more exciting stuff. Guilty Gear X Plus. I might have this, I might not, I don't know. This was 250 yen. And Guilty Gear XX, Guilty Gear XX something or other, Reloaded, whatever. I'm pretty sure I don't have this, but I'm huge on PlayStation 2 fighters, Saturn fighters, basically any Japanese fighting game that we didn't get in the States or that I just don't have the American version of, I will buy. And I couldn't remember if I had this one, but for 250 yen, I was willing to take the chance that I didn't and just buy it. Alright, some loose Game Boy carts. This one, Super Mario Land. I already have a Japanese version of this, but this was 250 yen, so I had to get it. I think I bought one for 500 yen. Rockman World, 500 yen. Now, Rockman games locally sell for quite a bit. I'm very happy to have that because Mega Man is pretty decent. Bomberman Game Boy. This one was 250 yen. I know I have a copy. I might have two. But you know, it's cheap enough that I bought it because somebody will want it at some point. Everybody loves Bomberman, right? Then I got a copy of Rockman 4 for 950 yen. When I first moved here to Japan back in January, I found quite a few of these loose Famicom Rockman games for between, you know, 950 and 1500 yen. And I always thought that that was too much to pay because I was pretty sure that these were cheaper games, but I haven't seen any Famicom Rockman games under 20 bucks as of late. So when I saw one for 950, I had to grab it. So this one is pretty interesting. This one is a reprogrammable cart. Back in the day, they used to have these, I guess they were like vending machines or whatever. You put these carts in and you can flash games onto them. That's pretty much all I know about them. But this one has Mad Max 2, I think that was the name of it. And I think it was Fire Emblem 2. It was two RPGs that I didn't really care about. But I see these carts on eBay every now and again, and they're kind of expensive. Just for the history of them, I wanted one. This one was, if this thing will focus, 1950. Not the cheapest cart in the world, but you know, again, as a collector's piece, it's kind of nice to have, and I didn't think I would ever find one that cheap, so had to grab that. All right, sticking with the theme of Nintendo stuff, Donkey Kong, or Super Donkey Kong as it's called in Japan, 250 yen. Whenever I find these games for 250 yen, I buy them just because I know that people like these games, and at some point I am pretty sure that they'll be good for trade value. So I got 3 copies of Donkey Kong, 1 copy of Donkey Kong 2, and a copy of Donkey Kong 3. So again, 250 yen for all those. Mega Man 7. How could you pass that up for 1250 yen? That basically equates to about $11 and change, something like that. I already have a copy. I paid too much for mine. This one is in pretty nice shape, so that was cool. Mega Man X. Who can leave that for 1250? They also had X2 and X3, but those were, I want to say X3 was 2,450 yen and X2 was 1950, which is about the average price. I actually have both of them, and I think that's around what I paid anyway. So yeah, there's that. Star Fox, this one was 250 yen. Couldn't leave it behind. I think I saw this one before I saw the box copy. Maybe not, I don't remember. But yeah, that's a pretty solid price for that game. I kind of regret this one just a little. Mario Kart for the Super Famicom, 500 yen. There's a big old crease. Man, if this thing doesn't focus, I swear. There's a big old crease right down the middle of the label. I already have a copy of this. I found in a junk bin at some point for like 300 yen. So not a huge fan of Mario Kart on the Super Famicom. Every other Mario Kart is great to me, but I loathe this one. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, 250 yen. I mean, who can leave that behind for 250 yen? They have value. You know, if you bundle up Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Super Street Fighter 2, they seem to sell pretty well. So, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Future Convention Fodder. Kirby 3, Kirby's Dream Land 3, 950. I actually already own a copy of this, but this was cheap enough that I figured I'd buy it. And this one I think might even be in better condition than the one I have. So, who can leave that behind? The American version is very expensive. This is a copy of Super Mario World 2, 500 yen, cheap enough for me to buy it. I already have a copy, but again, you know, it's a pretty sought after title. Fairly cheap here in Japan, but there's a lot of price gouging locally. So anyway, picking it up for future trades. Also a copy of World Heroes. Just a fun game. I really like, or I did like World Heroes back in the day. 250 yen. I know it's a much better game on Neo Geo. Not even comparable really, but anyway. And the last Super Famicom game that I got was, what's the name of this? Hold on. Golden Fighter. I can't read without my glasses, so. Golden Fighter, 250 yen. I just bought it because it looked cool. Moving on. So there was a 3DO. I want to say it was like 6,200 something yen. I don't know, I couldn't leave it behind. I'm such a horrible hoarder. I've already got a 3DO. I don't have a Japanese 3DO. I know they're region free. I think all games play on the Japanese one, and some games don't play on the American one. But for about 60 bucks, I couldn't say no. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but I haven't tested it. Pretty sure it works. Moving along. Last system, console, whatever. I got a pink Game Boy Pocket. It's in pretty good shape except for a little bit of marker writing, if you can see that. A little bit there, and then some douche took the marker over the start and select. I'm sure I'll clean that up pretty well, but I don't have a pink one. I bought a pink one. This one was, I think, 700 yen. Damn it, focus you. But for 700 yen, I just couldn't walk away from that. That's so cool. They had some pink Game Boy Advances for, I want to say, 10 bucks, but I had so much stuff in my cart already, I just didn't want to buy them. And the last little bit of stuff that I bought, PlayStation games, Mega Man X6. This one was 1,550 yen, about 15 bucks. There's a copy locally that I was kind of so-so on. That one was 20, so whatever. Mega Man 8. Unfortunately, this one is missing the manual. 1,550 yen. I was really on the fence about all these PlayStation games, but I just wound up throwing them in the cart anyway because I already had so much stuff. I figured, why the fuck not? You know, just go out and have fun, buy the stuff that you want. It's gonna hurt later, but I'm not worried about it. I'll worry about it later. Spawn, 250 yen. It's not exactly the best looking game in the world, but it is Spawn. I don't have the American version, so Then a copy of Mega Man 5, and I have no real reason to own this game. This one was 1,550 yen, and yes, this is Mega Man 5 for the NES, released on the PlayStation. They released Mega Man 1 through 6 for the PlayStation. Each one is an individual disc. Fuck you, Capcom. But yeah, I've been a real sucker for Mega Man stuff since I've been out here, so or Rockman, I should say, but I couldn't pass that up either. I don't know why. Then something I also thought was really cool, Mega Man Racing. I don't know what the hell that translates to, but that's what it is. Mega Man Kart Racing, 500 yen. There we go. Hey, focused. So, you know, it looks interesting enough, I guess. But yeah, that's what I got. Spent a fuck ton of money at that store. A fuck ton. So on the way back home, I stopped off at a flea market. So on the way home, I stopped off at like a flea market type of deal. They had a lot of junk. A couple games that I really was sort of interested in, I guess. These were both $1. Swing Away Golf, one of my favorite games of all time. This is like a deluxe edition. So I guess in this deluxe edition, you can actually put your face on the golfers. I mean, I don't think I'll ever have any actual real reason to do that, but this is an alternate version of a game that I really love, so I figured why the hell not. And then one of these like budget titles. It's a basketball game. I don't know why I have so much fun with these games. They're complete garbage, but they're so bad that they're actually fun and hilarious. But it's basketball. It was $1. I bought it. It doesn't want to focus. Moving along. So at this point, you know, I was gonna go to another hard off or a book off. I think it was a hard off, but I was already out for like 7 hours and I was tired. I went home, went out today just to look for stuff locally. Found a Nintendo 64 in the junk section. Let's see if that focuses. Probably not. All right, it doesn't want to focus all that well, but trust me, it says 200 yen. It's got. Man, this does not want to focus. My lighting sucks. It's got the jumper pack. This was in the junk section again. Pretty decent shape, just kind of dirty, but I put a power adapter in it. It didn't turn on the first time. It was real loose in the back, so took it out, put it back in. It's set properly, turn it on, games work perfectly. Did it again. I mean, it seems to work properly now. I don't know if there was some sort of issue with these pins or whatever before I put the power adapter in. But anyway, it works. 200 yen for a working N64. That's all I found in my local area today. So yeah, all kinds of goodies from outside of my local area. I will make a habit out of going and exploring on the weekends instead of doing the local thing from now on. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace. So at this point, you know, I was gonna go to another hard off or a book off. I think it was a hard off, but I was already out for like 7 hours and I was tired. I went home, went out today just to look for stuff locally. Found a Nintendo 64 in the junk section. Let's see if that focuses. Probably not. All right, it doesn't want to focus all that well, but trust me, it says 200 yen. It's got, man, this does not want to focus. My lighting sucks. It's got the jumper pack. This was in the junk section again. Pretty decent shape, just kind of dirty, but I put a power adapter in it. It didn't turn on the first time. It was real loose in the back, so took it out, put it back in. It's set properly, turn it on, games work perfectly. Did it again. I mean, it seems to work properly now. I don't know if there was some sort of issue with these pins or whatever before I put the power adapter in. But anyway, it works. 200 yen for a working N64. That's all I found in my local area today. So, yep, all kinds of goodies over the last couple. Whoops, let's do that again. All right. So yeah, all kinds of goodies from outside of my local area. I will make a habit out of going and exploring on the weekends instead of doing the local thing from now on. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace.